I just got turned down for a job because I wasn't willing to give up my hobbies. Last week I had a job interview I was really excited about. $20 per hour for a receptionist customer service job for a small firm. I have 2 years experience in reception and 4 years of customer service. Much more than the 1 year they were asking for, and I was thrilled about the pay and extensive benefits. I do community theater in my free time. It has never gotten in the way of my work schedule, as most of us work similar hours. I love the theater. It's my whole social life. I even make a little money on the side designing for shows and working tech jobs. When the interviewers asked what I did in my free time, I told them, and explained how many of my professional skills are easily applicable to the local theaters. Would you be willing to give that up for this position? We don't generally like when our employees have additional jobs. We prefer that this be your primary concern. I told them I don't really consider community theater a job, that if a show got in the way of work I wouldn't commit to the show, and that being involved in the theater has never overlapped with work before. Other than that, the interview went incredibly well. But here I am today with a rejection email. As much as I would have loved a better wage and more reliable job. Is that what you have to give up to get a benefited position today? I have to be willing to give up everything and everyone I love. The only thing I'm passionate about. The only part of my week I really enjoy? They wanted at least a decade of commitment to the company, without other distractions. God forbid I have a fucking life or volunteer my spare time to anything outside of the office. $20 per hour is nowhere close to dictating how I spend time outside of work, kinda pay. Probably a place you don't want to work. No matter how nice it looked from your interviewing perspective. Asking someone to give up their hobbies is a toxic trait from an employer. In the future, to avoid this, never mention making extra money outside of work. I think it was the additional compensation that triggered their alarm bells. I just lie, like they do. It's a fun little game we all play. They specifically wanted to know if you'd give it up because they were clearly planning on having you stay late, most or many nights. And if you had other obligations you'd have a reason to turn them down. You dodged a bullet. Remember this. When you apply for a company, they are buying your time to work for them. Them asking you to give up your activities for something they don't pay you for. They can beat feet. At no point in my life have I ever told an employer that my personal life is any of their business. To me, it's an invasive question and is not their problem what I do. As long as my activities outside of work do not cause a conflict of interest by working there, it doesn't matter. Bullet dodged. They wanted a slave, not an employee. Yeah, you deserve better. I've had my current boss call me on a Friday morning asking me to come in for an add-on surgery. I'm an OR tech. And I told her that I was currently packing my car to go snowboarding, so I will not be able to work. She said, "Okay, thanks. And have a good day." She didn't even ask twice. Once she heard no, that was it. Good luck on the job search. Never hint at something like that. It will be used against you. I like watching movies and playing board games with my nieces. As long as what you do outside of work does not interfere with your ability to do your job, it's none of their business what you do in your free time. What primary concern? Were you going to be performing in a play during work hours? If that's their management style, you are probably better off without them. Just so you know, I've been working an IT job for over 25 years. And for a good chunk of the last 20 I was on call after hours. But I still performed in community theater. All my bosses knew about my theater involvement. The one who hired me even said he was happy I had it. As he'd seen too many, all company all the time, people retire and die shortly afterwards, and no one ever saw it as a problem. Go post on Glassdoor so other people know that the company is shit. Also name and shame. Y'all gotta start using these companies' names unamused. We don't want to interview with the same company and have the bad experience and wasted time too sleepy. This is why I learned to tell my job and interviewer as little about myself as possible. At my last IT job, they didn't know I was a freelance journalist and the local paper didn't know where I had my day job. No one at work knows anything about me other than I can make dad jokes and have a wife and kid. It avoids all the "your hobby doesn't fit with our branding" bullshit and everything else that touches that circle of the Venn diagram of corpo nonsense. Also, I'm pretty sure if you show enthusiasm for anything equal to or gosh forbid more so than work, they know you can't be broken easily. You can be taken advantage of or chewed up as easily because you have passion and zest for life. No way, that's super unreasonable. Major red flag. Though I'm sorry you had to miss out on the pay and benefits. 2 hearts. Did they explicitly state that was the reason you didn't get the job? You don't really mention it, just that you got rejected. From now on, just lie to all jobs. Tell them what they want to hear and do what you want. It is always easier to apologize than ask permission. This is why I always lie. Jobs don't need to know anything about your life when you leave their premises. This is why I just say I love cooking and reading and gardening. If I say I travel and perform, they might see it as competition. You had the right answer. They had the dumb question. Asking to make a part-time job a primary objective is ludicrous. When the interviewers asked what I did in my free time, I told them, and explained how many of my professional skills are easily applicable to the local theaters. This was your mistake. There are a number of things employers aren't allowed to ask you directly, such as if you are married, have kids, attend church, the various things that are protected against discrimination. But asking a question like this could potentially lead to revealing information that answers a question they aren't allowed to ask. A lot of interview coaches will tell you to answer these kinds of questions with as little detail as possible. Did they say in their rejection email that it was because of the theater thing? From my perspective, saying you wouldn't take a role that conflicts with your job is saying you would give up the hobby for your job. In other words, how sure are you that it's the theater issue? Run away. A. Anyone dumb enough to consider community theater a job is probably not someone you want to work for. B. Any place that thinks they own you after you leave in the evening is some place you probably don't want to work at.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. EmperorJJ is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.